Hello, and welcome to Star Wars Saturdays. Star Wars Saturdays is my little attempt at a living campaign using a variety of different small press RPGs, tabletop RPGs. If you didn't realize you were watching tabletop RPGs, here you are, and you can go or stay. It's totally up to you. This is part of the Gauntlet community. The Gauntlet community is a vibrant and growing online community of tabletop RPG fans, primarily in the space of smaller press RPGs, but also in the OSR market. And we get together and we play mostly online. The Star Wars Saturdays happens on Saturdays, surprise, surprise, and it's always in Star Wars, but the game system changes every month. And this month, I'm doing a one shot of Void Vultures. Now, Void Vultures is written by Josh Roby, a good buddy of mine, and it is a game that wasn't written for Star Wars. It was written for space epic stuff. The idea was that the player characters are all salvagers, and in Void Vultures, the thing is Void Vultures kill space monsters, take their space stuff. I'm setting this in Star Wars because Star Wars Saturdays. I keep saying it. It's like I get like a kickback from no one for that. And it's during Return of the Jedi. So the Return of the Jedi movie is happening. The rebellion is growing. They have that victory of that whole Death Star thing. And there's no other Death Star going on. So the rebels are doing fine. They've bounced back from that whole Hoth thing. A lot of stuff's going on. And these guys are not the like canon characters. We have brand new folks who happen to exist in that universe, and they are Void Vultures. We are going to let the guys introduce their characters, and we're going to talk a little bit about the township, which is kind of your home base. We're going to jump straight into some Void Vulturing, which is going to be pretty exciting. I'm going to start with Robert. Robert, why don't you give us a brief introduction to your character?
Okay, so I'm playing Sparks. He's a clone. Who participated, like most clones, in the Order 66. I can't remember the exact number.
That's exactly the number.
Yeah. So he was, he was brought up to protect these people. Came to care about them, think of them as, friends. Maybe even family to a certain degree, and then he had a chip in his head that made him kill these people. So now he managed to get that taken out with probably some pretty gnarly, not on the books surgery, which has not left him in the best of mental health. I think maybe some wires got crossed, and he basically just hates the Empire now and wants to see them burn.
Nice. He is definitely an anarchist, one of the aspects of Void Vulture's alignment. So that is very cool. Thank you, Robert, for telling us about Sparks. And then once everybody introduces their character, I'm going to start using their character name because I happen to have two Jasons and my brain will melt if I don't. Mark, please tell us about your character.
I don't know how to pronounce the race name.
Ixtochi is how I say it.
Ixtochi. I'm a Vami, the Ixtochi Void Vulture, and I feel like I'm a good person because I'm scrupulous. But I'm a recon, which means that I got like a really good blaster and a telescopic scope. My notable feature is that I have no connect score. So I'm going to be role playing how hard it is to connect to everybody around me. Otherwise, I'm good at shooting and dashing, and I look forward to space monsters.
I'm a little curious. How do you envision that lack of connection for Afami? Is he just weird, or is he a little obnoxious or withdrawn? How do you see that his
Just
inability to connect with other people.
I'm thinking like his emotions are very subdued, and he doesn't take time to bond with people. Um, so just cold, I guess.
Neat. However, your alignment is scrupulous.
Right, I do the right thing. I will earn a token when I turn down an opportunity because it's wrong. So I may have to stand up when we're trying to do something that's wrong.
That's fascinating. I really like it. Cool. Thank you, Mark. Jason Mills, please tell us about your character.
Hi, yeah, I'm playing Van Dyne Zentu. She is, this might not be widely known, but she's a scion of the Zentu engineering family firm from the Duros orbital platform. She is not in line to take over a great deal of the family business, but would like to be. And she is out here to fund a secret side project that she's been working on, which, if it succeeds, will be very impressive to the family. And if it fails, she will, disappear in ignominy and is desperate to see that plan succeed.
I wish her the best of luck. So, thank you for mentioning gender. I didn't actually ask for pronouns for characters. Real quick, spin back. Vami, what is Vami's pronouns?
He, him is fine.
And Sparks?
Him.
Okay, awesome. Cool. And so we've got this Duros. She's here to fund a research project that is fascinating. And yeah, she's got a plan, it seems, because she's diabolic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're pretty greedy for money here. It makes sense. Yeah. I like it.
Yep. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Beautiful. Famous last words. Thank you very much, Jason Mills. Jason Cox, please tell us about your character.
Sure. I am playing Kier Moonwood, who is a human from Naboo. And in general, his stats roll out that he's fairly dexterous, pretty heavy on the psychic power, and really not a very impressive physical specimen. He can dodge pretty good. And the history I wrote up for him is that he is actually from a Naboo family that acquired a lot of debt getting off the planet to safer places. And so he's trying to pay that off. He used what was left of his family's money to actually help buy the mostly magnetic fox, because he is actually command. So he's not an especially great commander, but technically he's command. His family had to get off in part because they had the kind of tenuous connection to the Force. They've got this history of shamanic mystics. He actually has fairly powerful abilities, but he doesn't really know how to use them. So there's a lot of impact and not a whole lot of precision.
Oh, that is just delightful. I am very excited to get to know this individual.
Yeah, he's the principled one.
Yes, he is. He's a white knight in dark times. Earn a token to protect another.
It's not what I was going to play when we started talking about this game, but there we go.
That's right. Before we started, I went ahead and have everybody create characters, because it's like rolling 12d6 and then looking at the values and then a couple of choices. So, yeah, some people ended up with characters that maybe they wouldn't have default chosen. But hey, that's why we play these role-playing games, right? It's no, wait.
Hey, Rich.
Yeah.
Jason Mills and I had a discussion, and my character is very much like Amos from The Expanse, if you've seen any of The Expanse. So,
which characters? I've seen The Expanse, but not. I've seen the first season, not well enough to know to immediately.
He's the guy with the really close cropped hair.
The mechanic.
The mechanic that it basically loses his shit from time to time.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, now you guys have a good touchstone. Good job. Good suggestion there, Jason Mills. It's the last time I'll call you Jason Mills, because from now on forward, you are Van Dyne. Let's real quick talk about your township. You guys are all currently on Spaceport Trident Vespa. Trident Vespa looks like a pitchfork with permacrete and ferrocrete lanes forming the tines and buildings all around the edges. The outer two lanes are longer than the one in the center, and you can see here these little circular areas. These are hangar bays where you can store ships. There's a command area here and a lot of kind of Quonset hut areas. This is a very active spaceport, and it is it's where you guys are currently residing. This is your township. This is part of Avoid Vultures. So I'm curious, Kier, who of your family is still here living on Spaceport Trident Vespa?
I think that's nosy aunt. She's clearly also a Moonwood. We will say that her name is Lyra Moonwood.
Okay, cool. And she's a human from Naboo.
Mm-hmm.
What's she having to do right now? Because I don't think that they have jobs for her particular skill set. I'm just guessing.
Well, I think right at the moment, a lot of what she's doing is trying to pick up more skill at just trade, because she likes to talk. She's a people person. She's just not used to talking in small credit numbers. She's used to trading, fleets of ships or, advanced spices. She's not used to that. How much for this helmet? So she's kind of adjusting to living on a small scale.
Nice. So you're thinking that she works at one of the trader shops, maybe as a clerk?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're probably someone that appreciated her slightly better than you aristocratic air. So there
Nice.
you go.
I get to do a bad British accent then. Awesome. That tickles me. Cool. So our Vami, where is it that you hang your hat? Where do you spend a lot of your time at Spaceport Trident Vespa? There are a number of like bars and cantinas. There are some areas for relaxation. There's a small data file library and some other stuff. Where do you think Vami spends his time?
That's a good question. Is there a is there hydroponics?
There is.
I work at a hydroponic, working my own little plants.
You work at Gorsix Hydroponics. It's owned and operated by Gorsix. So yeah, that's where you spend a lot of your time then, just at the hydroponics.
Yeah. It not only is it like a it's not like bonsai trees, but like that kind of relaxing thing where you're just working with something. Gorsix is also like an information trader, so I hear about jobs and stuff like that from them.
Cool. I'm kind of imagining that maybe one of these, there are a lot of tanks here and then a bunch of Quonset. So let's just say like this upper right one here is where the hydroponics is located. And I'm imagining that it's that multi-level hydroponics. So you have rows upon rows going up, and almost like one of those old style libraries, there'll be a automated ladder that can kind of move around. You can adjust all of the different plants and check their levels, all that good stuff. Sound good?
Yeah.
Very cool. I like it. Sparks, between void vulturing jobs, what do you do with your time? I imagine you have a side job. What's your gig?
So Sparks is going to help out at the. I'm trying to think of you've got a name list here.
I do.
Sierra's Spaceonomics.
Oh,
It's basically a fancy name for ship repair depot that he helps out at.
what's the name? How do you spell the name?
Let me just get the tab again. Sierra. So it's SIERO.
Awesome. Cool. So it's a ship repair depot, and
It's run by a Rhodian called Sierra.
awesome. How do you like the job? Like, do you enjoy this job, or is it just a thing to pay the bills?
It's just a thing to pay the bills.
Okay. Cool.
What I really want to be is out there kicking Imperial ass, but I can't fight so good anymore because I got brain damaged.
Oh, that's true. Oh, rough. Poor guy. I'm sure the rebellion could have used you. Too bad. Oh, sorry.
Can Gorsix be one of the flying guys from episode 1?
Toydarian. Yes, he is. I was getting ready to ask what he is. It gives me ability to take Gorsix like this. Is that okay? Is that offensive to anybody? That's my Toydarian voice. I only have the one.
I mean, I'm trying to do the clone voice, but I can't get it.
Oh, I need you to fix all the plants on the upper side. Okay, great. Cool. So let's. About to cough. Yeah, that voice gets to me. I should lubricate my vocal cord. Van Dye.
Yes.
I'm curious. What are you called in to consult with for Spaceport Trident Vespa? Your expertise is something that I think is pretty valuable here for some of the folks that run the station. So what do you normally get kind of pulled into?
Having kind of various systems on ships, kind of optimizing their ability to communicate with each other. And so, her engineering skills are largely in the sort of slicing programming arena. And she is called in to, on one hand, optimize systems, or on the other hand, she's occasionally paid to put like backdoor systems into ships that are coming through and we might want to have access to later.
I like it. So Lorsi Tazi, who's a fellow Doros, she gives you side jobs for optimizing communication systems within Trident Vespa itself. So Trident Vespa was one of those. This was before the Clone Wars. It was going to be a really profitable station, and then a number of misfortunes and a number of it being exactly 3 hit it back to back to back. And so they lost a lot of business because of superstition. There's a lot of superstition that affects the space lanes. And so they don't have quite the funding that they originally thought, and things have started to fall into disrepair on this spaceport. But I think Lorsi is trying to do more with less. And so she probably leans on you for some help. How do you feel about Lorsi? Like, what's your relationship?
Well, I'm not sure how much you want me to insert here, but I just had the idea that
Go for it.
Maybe the Tazi Duros clan is they're actually cousins to the Zentu.
Okay.
But have no, they're sort of like the support family, right? Like they're never going to be in charge of the Zentu Corporation.
Like a vassalage,
And
almost
so-
like a corporate vassalage.
Yeah. And so they're like Lorcy and Van Dyke are here sort of pretending that they're not related. But using their connection as like a, hey, we can bring each other up. You know, like if Van Dyke makes the move that she wants to make in the corporation, she's gonna bring Lorcy with her.
Nice. Deal. I'm just typing up the last bits of notes. Cool. Thank you, guys. I appreciate these details. I'm quite excited to see your world in action. Yeah.
Also, just to check in, Rich, I think your screen is black, or is that just me?
Anybody else see me?
I see you.
Yeah.
I see you.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah. Well,
Did you click on his picture? It might black him out if you do that.
yeah, but when I do that, it doesn't bring up the screen share that he's doing.
I stopped the screen share.
No, he's just
It's all right.
awesome Starfield behind him now.
I do. Thank you.
Oh, there, he's back. Okay.
Hooray.
Yay. All right. So I'd like to just spend a few minutes seeing you guys in action on Spaceport Trident Vespa before you hear. So this is what we see kind of opening credits for our TV movie, which is on FX. So we can say cursors, but don't forget Star Wars expletives. So criffing or carking instead of the F-bomb, if you can. Shebs for butt and all that good stuff. Fun stuff. It's all in the Star Wars names and species. There's some quite a few expletive examples for you. If you screw up, that's okay. I just think it's fun. I'm that dork that really enjoyed the lexicon provided for Planescape and called everyone Burke, even though I probably, they didn't even know I was talking about from a game. I just thought I was. So that's just me. Cool. So let's start off in the hydroponics, I think. Gorsik's hydroponics, and we have Vami there. Do you work there or do you just hang out? I'm really curious about this.
I have my own little hydroponics pod that I'm responsible for. Like, it's my little Zen thing to do. But it's not a job per se. Like, I come in to just, I hang out. I mostly hang out.
Nice. Did you buy this pod or is it just a community thing and you're like, I will take care of sector 432 kind of thing?
Yeah, I've bought into the hydroponics like I'm an investor ish kind of thing, like a co-op kind of thing. So this is
I love it. I think that's super dope. It's super cool. Yeah, so you say it's your Zen thing. What kind of plants do we see? Like, is it just a green color? Do you have like flowers? Is it food that you eat? I'm really curious about this.
I'm growing a new Luke Skywalker. No.
Nice.
Okay. No.
So he's in his tidy whities and like this back to tank.
Right. This is a back to tank. That's what I was looking for. I would have said that if I knew the word.
You said it now. Just now.
Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah. No. This is a combination. It's a plant species that floats in water, and it has, on the air side of things, it has a flower, and on the bottom side of things, it's kind of like a beet. And
nice.
So it's a beet with a really nice flower.
Sweet. And is this a large thing? Do you have a large number of them?
I came in on the bronze level co-op, so I have about a meter cubed of space. So
Okay.
just a few of them.
Sweet. So you're sitting there looking at all of your beasts, checking maybe the salination levels, and you've noticed over the last couple of days that the beet section of it has started to turn a deeper crimson, which is a little bit worrisome.
Oh, okay.
and you hear the flapping of Toydarian wings as Gorsix comes over, and he has a little data pad, like his little Toydarian sized data pad, right? And it's made just for his little plump fingers. And he says, Lemmy, looks like you're having some problems. You need to change out the salination levels in that water. It's a small charge. You should dump everything and swap it all out.
Thought it was something I had done. So you're saying it's your machinery that's carked up?
I wouldn't say that. It's a communal garden, so you're partially responsible. I can show you the agreement. Hold on. And he brings it up on his little data pad. He starts highlighting, like running his line over basic, where it's like the community is responsible in whole and in part. And no one is legally liable. He underlines that, and then he highlights it, and then he underlines it again. He's very nervous about this.
Fine. Where's the salination kit?
No, we're actually a little short of salination kits. Perhaps we'll have to make an order unless you think that you can talk to Sierra. We can modify one of the kits that they use in the life support systems for different ships. But, you know, we catch as catch can here.
Okay. All right. I'll leave then.
I like that you just announce it and then you walk away.
Yeah.
Cool. So then we will pick up with, I kind of want to see Kier in Aunt Moonwood's store. So she's a clerk. So somebody else probably owns this store. Who do you imagine is the kind of person that owns this little resupply shop that hired a Nabooan? So, you know, they must want something legit looking.
What are those kind of insect people? Are they like Vonex or something like that?
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the Verpine?
Yeah. So
those guys.
They, you know, they're smart and they're capable. They like to trade, but they're not always the most social people. So basically hired the aunt to be a front so that they could do all the things that they wanted to do instead.
Let's say that the owner and operator of this place is a Verpine by the name of Solon Koss. Solon Koss doesn't bother with a gender. He doesn't really argue about it. So Solon Koss is in the back, and your aunt is here. Why have you shown up today? Or like you bring her some food, or bring a delivery, or just hang out?
I think that Kier is just trying to keep family connected, so he's bringing like messages to her, and then she's probably going to give him stuff to send back out. But they're all a little spread out right now.
Oh, that's rough. A little diaspora, Nabooan diaspora. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Not that it matters, but during this time frame, the expanded universe on Naboo is pretty interesting because they installed a governor that actually took on the mantle of queen. So it's problematic. Like there's bad shit at home. I totally buy into the idea of this family. It's like, let's GTFO.
We're out.
Deuces. Yep. Cool. So you come in and she's talking to a customer. You see that she's wearing kind of traditional Nabooan dress, but you can see that like it used to be very beautiful, and she's mended it where she can, but there's little bits of frayed edges that a close eye could see, but she's done what she can. She'll trim a little bit so you don't see any of the fabric, little strings that hang off or anything like that. So it's very important to her that she look as presentable as possible. But this is a pretty dingy place. Like most people have a little bit like during the TV show, like they have one makeup guy that just walks around and puts slight grease spots on people. Like that's his main job. He walks around with a paint with grease colored makeup. So a lot of people who look a little schlubby, and she's definitely a diamond in the rough here. And she sees you. I'm imagining that she's played by like a young Angela Lansbury, kind of like Angela Lansbury has like a young niece, and she got into acting, and here she is. Kier, Oh, Kier. Oh dear. Come. Yes. Take a look over the catalog. And if there's anything that you're interested in, you have a question about, I'll be happy to walk you through the exact process of utilizing that particular reconditioned piece of mechanics. Kia, please come over. How are you, darling?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm keeping things going. How are things here?
Oh, bright as rain, of course. Not that we have rain, but you understand what I mean.
It would probably help with the communal gardens, because I hear the salinity's been really off.
Well, I am sure that Gorsix will work that out. He's very resourceful. Perhaps we could deliver him some parts. We have to check out and see if there's anything he's put on order. Do you remember the summer rains? And they would come, it was warm, and then the rains would just kind of wash through. You could see a cloud from far off. It would come about and just gently wash away the heat.
I do. They're magnificent, and nowhere in the universe will we find something quite like them. But on the bright side, nowhere on Naboo would we find the rest of the universe. So, we'll be all right. There's things to see, and we're a family, and it'll be good.
Of course. Thank you, Kia. I'm sorry, that was a bit off board there.
No. I'm glad that I was here to share the moment with you, because having that moment alone would be terrible, but having it together is family.
Speaking of which, I thought of you this morning. And she kind of moves down underneath the counter, and she comes up, and you see there's this like plastic wrapped, and you can smell it as soon as she starts to unwrap it. You see there's this like pastry, which probably cost a lot of money to make or bake. And she says, I happen to have one extra that I saved in hopes that you would come by, Kia.
Oh, thank you. This looks amazing.
It's like a barely leavened bread that has
I know.
honey in the middle, and she spruced it up with like some kind of off-brand honey, and then these seeds that she's gotten from the communal garden.
Yeah,
3d6 and pastry, and she pushes that through, and then she says, perhaps you could, if you are free, there are a couple of deliveries that have been requested. Would you mind?
Sure, I could find the time.
Oh. And she'll pull up a little crate full of sprockets and the like, and kind of hand it over to you and give you a little data pad for you. And just, if they offer you a tip, you should take it this time. You work hard.
The rules are pretty strict about that. You're not supposed to take a tip. Like,
if you don't tell, I won't tell, darling.
But without the rules, I mean.
She takes the pastry and she puts it on top of the crate, and she reaches across the counter and pounds your shoulder, and then turns to a guy who's looking over Datapad, who looks impatiently along. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Come, let me show you what we have here in store.
Right. And Mir is not. He's a skinny guy. so the crate's probably not that big, but heaving it is not exactly easy for him. Even if it's not a very big crate.
Yes, the crate of sprockets and pork here, probably not the best combo. You have to like do the thing where you shoulder open the door, right? Because if you try to do the prop up to open with the hand, it's not going to work so well. Awesome. And then we will move over to see Vandai. I'm kind of imagining Vandai is visiting with her cousin. And so if you take a look at Spaceport Trident Vespa, on the far left-hand side is the command area, and that's where you can see a lot of the space ships that are coming in for a landing on the different lanes. And so I see this is like the command and control area. There are a number of individuals, gentle beings who are here. Oh crap! And I've just spaced on a particular name. Ugnaughts. There are a pair of Ugnaughts who are brothers. They work hard and constantly give each other crap about it. And a Sulliston and a few humans who are in here. And your cousin is actually checking out some of the array and the holonet. And she is reviewing with you the idea that she has about trying to pipe in the holonet feed so that there's if we can get the holonet feed across the array within Trident Vespa, that is a benefit that everyone can enjoy and we'll all be on the same page. Like there's a lot of times when there are rumors that seem to crop up about Palpatine's declarations, and there's a lot of confusion about changes and regulations for the spaceport. What do you think about like us just kind of running that feed along the main pipe?
I think it wouldn't be very difficult, and I think people would remember us for providing that for them.
I agree. Definitely people, yeah, remember us. I like that. I like that.
What will need to be done?
Well, and she pops over and flips a couple toggles in this little kind of vector diagram of the layout of the comm relays within Vespa. Sorry, Mark's funny. The vector graphics of the comm relay comes up and she starts tapping, and you can see there's several grayed out areas where they've kind of had to reroute around areas that have either blown or they just don't have the equipment to fix up particular parts. So you can see that it's a little bit of a spaghetti noodle. But there are basically two main pipes. There's one that's used for command and control communications that overrides everything else. And then there's the main feed that comes in, but it's that a lot of people can kind of patch into that pipe.
Well, it looks like if we remove this, and this, nobody's really using them, we can streamline that signal through and give the majority of the township access to the holonet, as you suggest, Lorcy. But I'd want to make sure they know that we... I want people to know where this came from. I wonder if we could brand it somehow.
Brand it? Ooh. She has this long Duros fingers, right? She kind of steeples them as she's thinking about it. Ooh. Commander Trask may not like that. This is technically like because I work for the company that runs the station. Any work that I do is part and parcel of the company, and I'm not allowed, don't have the wherewithal to subcontract to you directly. I was thinking if you could assist me, and I could maybe make you a few meals on the side. I would definitely put a word in with Commander Trask about your hard work, of course, cousin.
Well, word of mouth is almost as valuable. I think we can make that work.
Good. Now, I am going to put this to a die roll just so we can see the system in action.
Sure. Before we do that, it was pointed out that my numbers don't add up.
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure what I did.
I mean, think it was probably one of those where I told you I counted wrong on one of the dice. So thanks for taking a double check. And I actually could put a checker in this where it counts up those numbers to see if it equals 12. That is a future version of the Void Vultures character sheet. So yeah, you got to get back to 12. You're currently sitting a little high. So if you just want to shave off some points wherever you wish, we'll just call it.
Sure.
Done. And I apologize for not catching that.
That's all right. So I was trying to remember what actually dropped.
I mean, I think you could probably shave off that rally and not have much of anything to worry about.
Sure. So I have to get to.
I love that our former clone warrior has the worst shoot. That just amuses me to no end. Like he's the highest connection. He's the face of the group. I love it. It's so cute.
Okay, that adds up to 12.
Okay, cool. So let's have you I think that you're really just trying to. Well, here, you tell me the approach. Do you think that you're trying to hack into the systems to reroute everything, or do you think that you're just trying to fix and upgrade what is currently there?
Sorry, I missed the first part of your question.
That's
there.
okay. I'm basically asking, what's your approach? Do you see this as doing like you're hacking or splicing into the systems to reroute and kind of have that main data feed override, or do you feel that you're fixing the relays so that they work better overall and will carry the HoloNet?
I think I'm actually rewiring some of this because I also want to make sure that I have a better understanding of how it works and could possibly get access to it later if I needed to.
There we go. I like it. That's pretty clever. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to dice over it. I don't see any. Oh, well, do you feel your tech kit? I think it applies here, right?
I think so. I put that it has a slicing module attached to it. So
boom. So you're trying to fix, and you're trying to use your tech kit. So you're rolling 5d6. I'm going to say the difficulty of this is a 3d6. So I roll 3d6, and I'll do that on the roll for your party.
If I have the d10 in hacking, is that do I roll the d10s instead, or?
If you're trying to hack, then you roll 3d10 for the fixing, and then you roll 2d6 for your tech kit.
Okay. And so the tech kit is 2d6 and the slicing module is 2d6, or it's just the 2d6 is just for when I'm slicing?
That is a great question. I think that if you're using the tech kit and you have added on a module, then you can roll 4d6 because you're specifically slicing. This is a thing you're an expert at.
Okay. So 3d10 and 4d6?
Yep.
Okay.
And I have a critical because I've rolled a 1.
Is that good or bad for me?
Bad for you so far.
It means you need to also get a 1 in order to match it.
Exactly.
Oh, I see.
Don't forget, you can spend a token if you want to re-roll any of the dice that you've rolled.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, here we go.
Okay.
Well, I don't have any ones.
You're extremely powerful, but
Yeah.
4 is the lowest die that you have. Do you wish to spend any token? Spend a token to reroll some of these dice. You may want to just keep your 10 and reroll everything else.
Yeah, I think that's. I'll give that a shot.
Okay, cool.
Just hang on to the 10 and reroll everything else. Reroll selected. Oh, no ones.
All right, so no one. So here's what happens. Kind of pop up the hood, start working on splicing in, attach a few those little pincher things onto some of the wires, and you're coding in. Do you imagine that you have, like, in your splicing tick, like you have your splicing tick, do you have like is this a droid operated thing? Is it purely just data pad, or what does it look like?
I think there's a couple of sort of gauntlet bracer things with things that pull cables out of and tools, and so she's got one on each arm that is full of different kinds of tools each, and is basically cabled into this thing and trying to make adjustments.
Sweet. So you work on this for a while. You've got your cousin assisting you. She's definitely letting you take the reins here, and then it feels good. You know that you can kind of ride in. You've got some like eavesdropping modules that you've dropped in to where you can just pull data out. And as you're working on this, it's going to take some more time, but you've laid the groundwork. You feel pretty confident that if you can just be here for a few more hours, that everything should work out. We'll break away from you because I'd like to see Sparks. So Sparks,
sorry. Yeah. Can you just explain behind the curtain how your critical came into play during the results?
You bet. So if you roll a 1, you achieve a critical success. If you roll multiple ones, you get a double critical, triple critical, whatever. The precision is compared against your opponents to see if you do what you intended. So technically, Vanda has failed the roll. That critical, what that means is not just that you had the lowest die rolled, and so it determines success or failure, but it actually will add +1 to your power. So if we were in a contested roll, then it would add to the highest die roll to determine how hard it hit.
Okay, so it did make a failure. That's what I was trying to.
Yeah. I was obfuscating that by interrupting, using basically PvTA MC moves.
Just that's I use them all the time too. Okay.
Because Void Vultures just says, run the game, shoot people, be awesome. And that's not good enough for my brain. Like, I need more. So yeah, it was a failed roll. I just didn't want to let our Duros, who was brave enough to make our first die roll, look like an nincompoop. So it's just going to take more time. It's the only thing you can do right now. I'm going to interrupt you with a mission. That's basically your fail result. But first, I want to catch in with Sparks, who has magically gotten a couple of stat swaps after seeing the die roll in how it works. So that is totally cool with me. Sparks, are you working on someone else's ship when we start off, or are you currently working on the mostly magnetic Fox, which is your guys' little ship?
I think it would be more interesting if I'm working on the mostly magnetic Fox, because maybe there's a problem that needs to be addressed.
Cool. That is fantastic. So then I'm going to bring in the owner of Mostly Magnetic Fox for the two of us to talk real quick about this particular ship. Is the Fox, is she like a sleek, speedy little ship? Is she a clunky, heavier kind of tramp freighter? What are you imagining here? Like, is it one of those silvery Nabooan?
I don't think it is. Kier is in a sense more practical than his family. I think it's actually kind of a small maneuverable ship. It's got more space than it looks like it should, and one of the reasons for the magnetic thing is that it's kind of flexible and can clamp to things. Like, it is designed to be a scavenger ship,
Nice.
much more than a freighter. So it can clamp things and has various things that are meant to force open bulkheads. If it was forced to be in combat, it would do well as long as there's stuff for it to hide behind, because it's not super fast or slow. What it is it can turn really, really sharply and get out of the way. Its weapons are not especially great, but because that would draw a lot of attention to what we are.
It's true. So here is what the conundrum you have, Sparks. The Fox, she has a bubble turret. Oh, that's a cool pick. Yep, that's canon. Nice picture, Mark Causey. Way to go. So she's got a bubble turret on the bottom, and the turret's rotation doesn't stop. So the last time you guys got in a scrap, whoever was down in the bubble turret had to just kind of wait until you came around and then fire really the best you possibly could. So that's your current conundrum that you're trying to solve for there, Spark. So what do we see when we come in with you? Like, how do you handle this? Is it a software? Is this a hardware problem?
Right. So I am. I've got the turret. I'm accessing the gyro, basically the mechanism that makes it spin, and I'm just looking at that to see if there's any parts that are missing. Like is the latch missing that should like lock it in place.
Nice. I like it. Cool. So then I think you're trying to fix this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that fixing this bad boy is 2 die, 2 die maneuver. So you are trying to fix it. So you normally roll a 3d6. Unless you want to try to rig it, which is make it work the best you can with what little bit you have, but it could break later and we'll need better stuff. You've got a tech kit, so you can definitely add that in. So do you see this as fixing or rigging?
So the owner of the ship has already said that weapons are a low priority on the ship. So I'm just going to try and rig it the best I can.
Okay. Well, you're very powerful at rigging. Quick question for Kier, because I don't want any of you to be stuck on the ship. Do you have a droid pilot or a sentient being pilot for the Fox?
We'll say we have a droid pilot. It's one of the leftovers from being a Naboo noble family. Is actually it has always been a droid pilot for my family. And so it still acts basically as hoity-toity chauffeur, even while we're, flying through things. But yeah, it's kind of like a Johnny Cab pilot. So it doesn't really leave. It just turns around and says very chipper things.
Give me a little sample.
Sure.
I know you've got a voice in mind, because I know you, Jason Cox.
Sure. Greetings, sentient beings. You'll notice right now, while we're flying through the asteroid belt, that things could destroy us at any moment. But fear not. My advanced routines will keep us safe from any... Please hold on.
Oh, Lord. That is amazing. I'm going to do a terrible impression of that, but I think I have the spirit of it. Thank you so much. As you were...
like in Star Tours. Yes, exactly.
Yes, I totally was getting a Star Tours vibe, and that tickles me. So, Cynthia designated as Sparks, it seems you're having a bit of trouble with the bubble turret. Can I assist you?
Okay. So what kind of droid is this?
It's a chauffeur droid who's been basically reprogrammed to be a good pilot. Good being a loose term for a droid.
Yeah, if you could hold this gyro in place while I try and lock it down so it doesn't slice my hand off, that would be great.
Losing an appendage would definitely be a problem. I'll be happy to hold this for you. Perhaps you could use the Type 2 Hydra spanner instead. Oh, that's fine. The Type 3 works fine.
Okay.
Cool. So I've rolled my 2 die against you, and I've gotten a 3 and a 4. You are going to use your tech kit, and then either fix or rig, your choice.
Okay, so my tech kit is, I believe, 3d6. No, 2d6. All right, so that's 2d6 and 3d10.
So you just need to be accurate, you need to get below a 3.
Okay, so I got a 2, and my highest is a 7.
Oh, good. All right. So if you get a 2, then that means you're successful, and your 7 is exactly how much you repair. So working... Oh, that side picture is so cool. So working with or without OTO, do we call them auto or OTO?
I think that they're interchangeable, and that they'll answer to either one, either to OTO or auto.
Beautiful. So with or without OTO's help, you are able to manage to fix the turret so it no longer rotates, and unless you command it to do so. But you use up some of the supplies, because as scavengers, right, you have to recondition and remake things. You realize that this will hold for a while, but as you're doing the work, you realize that some of the sealant probably needs to be reapplied, but then you have to strip it out. And if you strip it out and you don't replace it, then it's not going to be Atmo compliant, meaning if you go into space, there could be problems. So,
Okay.
yeah. but you get it up and working, and as you do, the OTO says, interruption. Sorry to bother you, sentient being Sparks, but there is a potential opportunity for employment for the crew that I've been notified about.
Okay, patch through message.
Of course. And you hear Sierra, the Rhodian, who you work for, and he says, Sparks, are you free?
Yeah, I'm about done here. What seems to be the trouble?
You need to gather your crew as soon as possible. This may be the biggest haul we've ever seen. And with that, we will take our first bio break. It's 41 minutes after the hour. And so let's take 7 minutes. So at 48 after the hour, we'll jump back in. Okay? See you guys in 7 minutes.
Okay.
The Jasons are back.
We could rule them all now.
You know, when we started laying out stats, I was like, oh no, our stats are the same. We are the same. But now they're radically different characters, so it's like
yeah. It's fun how the numbers can look similar, but go in different directions.
yeah. No, good times.
I don't know how I wound up with 15 dice.
He like it was because I almost had a 6 in fix because he said I had a 6 in fix. So
yeah, I'm sure that's what happened.
it's just it's different than what we're used to doing.
Yep.
Like it's an interesting system, but
although
it makes sense once you do it.
Yeah, like in like let's say D&D, I hate rolling stats because I want it to feel like it ends up not feeling fair. Like even if I have 4 18s, I'm like, I don't want to play this character. This isn't fun.
Yeah.
But here it feels fair, and you just have to like decide what you're playing after you roll. Yep. And I don't know, that is kind of fun actually to be able to do that and have it work. Yeah.
And I like that, you know, the dice are a measure of versatility. Of skills. So it's a neat idea. We've only seen, you know, 2 rolls so far, so whether or not it lives up to what it looks like it does but it's pretty neat. And I like, I don't know, because I haven't read the rules, I don't know if normally you add the equipment plus the module plus the stat, but that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise why have a 2d6 module? I think you're right.
Yeah, it says equipment rolls with any modules that are in use, which is often all of them.
Yeah.
All those dice and roll them together.
Well, that's so I've kind of, in part because I was thinking about Dexter a little bit while I was working on Kier. So my blaster pistol has a 2d6 unrestrained auto fire. So at that point, I'm rolling 7d6 to shoot things if I'm firing on unrestrained auto fire.
That's amazing.
And it's fun that you want ones and high numbers, which is really interesting.
Yep. I also stole Lowell's force field fuel node on my armor, so it's a coin operated force field. So
that's pretty funny.
That goes to Lowell and Richard from Impulse Drive. Star Wars.
I've been wanting to try Impulse Drive. I'm on the Kickstarter for that, and I'm just so excited to see how it plays.
It's pretty dope. It's a good game.
I really want to play it.
Sweet. So, thanks everybody. I didn't know Robert was back because he was all like, "That's from Battle of the Planets, right?"
No, it's Voltron.
That's
Voltron,
man.
That's
Pitch.
Sorry. It looks a lot like
best character on the show, hands down.
I'll watch it at some point.
Both in the original and in the new one.
I'll watch it at some point. It's Peak TV, guys. Peak TV. I just now watched Luke Cage, like just recently.
Oh my god, that's my favorite of the Netflix series.
It's my favorite too. It's my favorite. I mean, Jessica Jones is amazing.
Actually, I think Jessica Jones has Jessica Jones, Luke Cage.
Like I enjoy Luke Cage more, but I am fascinated and enthralled by Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
So
let's not talk about that.
Yeah. Because if we start talking Purple Man, all right. Spaceship Fox. That's how you got those pictures. That's your Google foo is strong, Marcosi. We pick up with and I'm sorry. I know that our Slice of Life fun is great, but we are like at 10:53 my time. We have an hour, and I want to actually kill space monsters and take their space stuff. So we pick up with you guys on the gorgeously illustrated Space Fox here. I'm going to screen share anyway, so I'll just screen share those pictures because they're so cool. This is your ship. Except we have a bubble turret here on the underside. Maybe it's wouldn't it be cool because this is so sleek looking? Maybe it's a bubble turret that like pops down. So in non-battle formation, it goes away. I love it. It's canon. Ooh, this is a cozy little ship too, ain't she? But I think maybe you have some extender crab arms and that kind of stuff to where you guys can burn in. And those are probably like lasers, but they also could be used in searing. I just love this. This is the coolest spaceship I've seen in a long time.
We can actually use the magnets to just adhere stuff to the ship, so it's dragging things around like a giant hermit crab.
Yes. God, that's so cool. So we pick up with the 4 of you on board, and OTO or Otto is flying, and you guys have this schematic up. I'm not sure if we have enough, like if we have a meeting room in here, or if you're just in like the hangar bay. There's got to be enough room to store stuff because the salvage ship needs to carry crap away. So we'll just say maybe you're kind of in the interior area and you're taking a look at this, which is the data spools on a Victory class Star Destroyer. Not far from here, a Star Destroyer, and this came over the holonet, which was the interruption. This is a cutscene. It's on the Blu-ray. But the holonet feed that you were trying to bring in, Von Dye, it came through that the subjugator, which is the name of this Star Destroyer, had been attacked by rebel terrorists, and that they were forced to abandon ship. So you guys took off on the mostly magnetic Fox and are headed towards her. So you're currently on light speed, and what you have here is your schematics for the Victory class Star Destroyer, the Subjugator. This is mil-spec related information. It is highly illegal to possess this detailed amount of information about Imperial designs. This is a Wessex special, and the Star Destroyers are, of course, the main thrust of the Imperial fleet, and very important. And you guys knowing where all the good shit is highly prized and valuable. So I will ask Sparks this question. Sparks, is this something that you have from your previous military experience, or is it something that was provided to the group during the building of this quick mission?
I think this is I can't remember what class it was that they used in Clone Wars, but I think this is a later version from that. So I don't think Sparks would have access to that from our time in the military. Okay. So yeah, I think that's something that we've appropriated.
Awesome. So yeah, this is the data spool that was provided, and we'll say that Von Dye, you were able to uncode it for everybody. You guys are looking over it. It originally came from some guy who called himself Weston Games or WEG. I don't know. I'm not sure. But here's what we have: is this cool pic. Just to get a clearer look, the main areas, you have some hangar bays where the crew lives, the combat personnel, the power cells. I'm not even going to make you roll. Power cells, any of those that you can get, are incredibly valuable. Engineering section, the engineer control core, systems control, and command section, of course, officers row and detention center. So you got some looks at the main bridge as well as the detention block, call outs for the hangar bays and the engine control core. So lots of cool stuff. And also, if you're looking, the Subjugator tab is where that is located if you want to look at it in a little bit more detail on your own time. So that's what you guys are looking over as you're currently in light speed. This is not a game big on planning, but just so I know, is there a particular area that you guys would like to try to dock with? You know, of course, you can go in the hangar bays, but there are other areas with your cool crab ship and your magnetic abilities that you could try to target first. So let's just let that be a little bit of an in-character conversation. These are the D6 system. I love it. So that's what I'd like. If you guys could just chat a little bit about that and give me an idea, so that we can, when we bring you out of Lightspeed, I know where you're headed.
All right, Sparks. It looks to me like the engine room has the most valuable stuff, but it's probably the hardest for us to get it to the Fox. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the map's gone. Yeah, the engine room's going to be behind several layers of bulkhead and different levels of the ship. Would be better coming in further down.
There is an interesting fact about these early designs that the shipyards were forced to assist in. The detention center is very well enforced from the inside, but approaching it from the outside is relatively simple.
Well, that would give us a good entry point. Is it worth just ripping out the systems, Vendai? Like, you know the computer stuff more than me. Is it worth just ripping those out and making do with those?
I think that's a fine approach. There won't be anything very valuable in the detention center, and if we destroy something, it will hardly matter.
Well, we could start with the smash and grab of the systems, and then if we have time and no one's up on us, we can make our way down to the engines.
I think that's a fine approach.
Maybe you could drop me at the hangar bays. I could start getting power cells there.
Right. Especially, so we could go in through the top, and you can start moving things to the hangar bay, which would give us a better egress. Do you need someone to work with you on that?
Oh, yes.
All right.
I am horrible.
Okay, so Van Dyer Sparks, do one of you want to work with him on that?
Are you expecting technical expertise required, or is it more of a heavy lifting project?
I expect that there's probably going to be a little bit of both. I mean, this is advanced tech, and there's going to be some things that we can't just force, which is why either you or Sparks ought to go. I'm inclined to say Sparks because I probably need you and your expertise with detention centers and systems.
I'm happy to do so. The detention center will be a little bit tricky from a technical point of view.
Sounds like a plan.
Sure.
Splitting the party always works well.
I can't imagine why not.
Increase efficiency.
I love this. It's a great idea. You guys splitting the party wise. I love it. Cool. So with that planning session in mind, we fast forward to you guys coming out of hyperspace. And this is the scene that you have. I love this picture. So this is the battle damaged version of your Star Destroyer. You can see that the front casing of the 4 section is completely gone. The hyperspace engines are offline. The command module appears to be intact, as does the engineering, but there are significant sections in housing that are down. The detention center also appears to be slightly damaged. There are lights on in the ship, but you can see that several of them are winking. A few are stronger. The hangar bay is sitting wide open and is venting into space. This ship has been, for all intents and purposes, abandoned. And so that's what you guys in your mostly magnetic fox see as you come in. And you were headed originally to the detention center. Is that
well? We're dropping.
That's right. You're doing the drop off.
Dropping Bammy and Sparks in the hangar, and then Van Dye and Kira are going up to try and enter through the detention center.
Nice. So you guys are all in your hard suits. Feel free if you like the idea of just going with something that looks like a Mandalorian armor type deal. That's totally cool. But if you want to go something custom, it's a wide universe. So you tell me. So we've got half the party dropping off at the hangar bay. That's amazing and makes me very excited to hear. In fact, this should not intimidate you in any way, shape, or form, but I actually have a map of the hangar bay. That's probably no big deal. I mean, surely it's just so that you have extra information. Why would a module have a map of a hangar bay? That just to look cool, right? Just to look cool. But I'll show you guys that real quick. Because it's a picture and I like pictures. So you guys come in and land here in the hangar bay. Oh, it's a little bigger than my thing. Anyway, so this area is no longer this force field is no longer powered. You see that there are a number of ATSTs that were just abandoned. There's a vehicle lift where a lot of the ships will be moved down, but all the TIE fighters and everything else, like here's the rack for TIE fighters, it's completely empty. Control platform, there are no lights on in the control platform. So you guys just pull in and it's dark, right? You have the lights of the Fox that cast everything in this area, and you can drop off your 2 passengers. So as you guys get dropped off, just kind of more like a movie shot thing. I apologize. I have a 6-month-old puppy who thinks that he's protecting us from grave dangers. So I may have to go yell at him in just a second. I'm going to do that. I'll be right back. But anyway, you guys figure out just. Oh, you have some questions? Shoot. So we'll deal with your questions when you get back, and then I want to get a look at like what do your hard suits look like? What do you guys look like as you're heading in? And then we'll cut away. I'll be right back.
So armor, I guess I need to describe my armor. Is that what he's saying?
Well, he wants to hear you come back. My impulse whenever Rich is gone is for us to just improv conversation until he gets back while we're flying.
Yeah.
So, which is fine. Sparks, you ever see anything like this before?
I've seen the older ships like this that have been abandoned after a massive firefight.
Yeah, it looks like.
Don't know.
Don't normally get to see something this big go down.
I'm surprised that the Empire wouldn't send somebody to scuttle it properly.
Maybe we are early.
Cool. So that's a great question. And Sparks, you would know that at least the previous Republic directive, there is actually a recovery crew that will be coming out to strip out everything that was non-essential but expensive, like non-essential for a life, but expensive. And it takes a while to muster. So you know that at some point over the next few hours, there will be a recovery crew, an official Imperial recovery crew that will arrive in probably something on the orders of a frigate. Probably has TIE fighters and the like, but a crap ton of engineers. And they're well aware that there are scavengers who may be here, and they will shoot you with big lasers.
Well, that's just rude.
So it needs to be a quick operation. With Mark, you mentioned, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, so the battle that took place that forced the people to abandon ship, did that happen here, or did this ship like last second like light jump to here?
Great question. It happened here, right? And where you guys are is currently on one of the main space lanes. It appears that a rebel fleet of a bunch of smaller craft just came in. There were some X-Wings that came, and most of the rebel fleet that got injured, they were in single pilot aircraft. There's nothing really worth scavenging. It's just a bunch of debris and crap that all is laying outside of the Star Destroyer.
That helps. Space. That helps a lot. Just a quick check though. Do we have any people like with signals like save me kind of thing? Do we have to?
Oh, as you guys are approaching, no. But as you get closer, you do see there is some light comm traffic relays that's coming from the ship. There's a repeater advising, just it's on the main Imperial channel that is like an all broadcast. It's automated. It appears it might be coming from a droid that's on ship and told you broadcast this, telling people to stay away, and that this is that there's a recovery crew en route, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But it appears there might be a few other bits of comm relay that you guys can check into if you want to as you get closer.
Okay. I was just trying to hit my alignment and save somebody over the cost.
You know what? There might be that opportunity.
Okay. Cool. I'm ready to play.
Sweet. Thanks for asking those questions. Those are details that are in the back of my head that I didn't present, so I'm glad you asked them. So as we have two crew members drop off here in the hangar, what's it look like? What do you guys appear? What's your hard suit look like?
I think it's a salvaged Mandalorian sort of outfit that I've taken. I didn't want to keep the old Stormtrooper prototype armor after the war, so I've upgraded. Mandalorian armor is pretty good, so.
Nice. I love it.
I have something that's designed for. Give me a moment. Click on this. Scroll up here for a Now-Tolan.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's meant to, like, they have a external cartilage or whatever, or not extra. They have, like, they're massive, and so it's a little bit bigger than me, but it's the only thing that fits my head tusks.
Yeah, I can see that being a real challenge.
Yeah. So I'm used to it.
Nice. And it has the bonus of, of course, it can handle space, but it's also designed to be submerged underwater, right? It's not all. Sweet.
Session 3 will be that mission. So.
Yes, session 3 of this one-shot game will be the underwater salvage. Yes. Absolutely. Cool. So you guys head off. Imagine maybe you have a couple of lights that come off of the helmet and kind of sweep across, and you can see there's like floating debris in here, right? Because they've turned off, like this is open to space. So the plan in the hangar, again, just kind of restate where are you looking for salvage in particular?
My original idea was to find any ships that hadn't launched, but apparently they had all launched. So I was thinking power cells in the land vehicles that you mentioned.
Okay. All right, cool. So you want to head over to the vehicle storage and vehicle maintenance. That is located towards the fore of the ship. So you kind of come in and you'll head to your left. When you get to that first door, there is a mixed bit of information because the door is sealed and magnetized. The good news is that means it's not vented to space on the other side. The bad news is that means it's closed and you have to open it. What do you do?
Sparks, can we get this door open, or do we need to do something else?
We're going to need to equalize the pressure. Try and get into the environmental systems. See if we can.
I know environmental systems. I'll head that way.
Nice. Cool. So you split off to work on the environmentals. Remember, you're in the hangar bay area, so most things, if they have power, the command area, this control platform would probably be the best place for anything that you want to operate manually. But of course, you do have cutters, so with a tech kit, you can easily just cut into that if you want. So what are you going to do, Sparks?
I'm going to see if I can bypass the door control, disengage the magnetic lock first.
That sounds amazing. So you've got 3d8 coming at you. That is what I'm going to roll to resist you trying to get through this finely crafted Imperial system.
All right, and that is I'm rolling with tech kit and fix, yeah.
Okay. Do you have any because you can add to your equipment, you can add a 2d6 module and a 2d10 module. You currently don't have any modules. So if you wanted to add some kind of like just right now, you just happen to have it, some kind of 2d6 or 2d10 module to your tech kit, you can do that.
Say some sort of 2d6 door.
Yeah.
Knock
knock kit. There you go.
Door cracker. Yeah.
There you go. Cool. You've got it. So you can get to roll that in as well.
Okay, so that's 4d6 plus. Would this count as hack?
You bet.
Okay, so I'll do 4d6 plus 3d4.
Cool. I am rolling my dice. I got a 5 is my precision.
Okay.
Now, just so you're aware, you have to do 5 power to break open the door. But you hack the... Holy crap. Okay. So what you have is a triple critical. Those 3 ones will add to the power of your highest die. Your highest die is a 5. 5 plus 3, 8. So you are able to splice in and overcome the system. And is this a thing where you just get the door to magnetize and you open it up? Or
Yep.
was that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the end of Die Hard, where the the magnetic lock just goes.
Nice. Nice. Anybody who uses Die Hard makes me happy. So I'm totally keyed in here. Sweet. So yes, you unlock that now. Heading over to check in. Vami, what was your plan? You were working on environmentals, or what were you trying to do to support there?
Yeah, I'm taking care of the pressure stabilization stuff.
Oh, cool. Why don't you give me a quick rig roll? And this one should be pretty easy because of the success you have. So I'm just going to have a 2d6 coming at you.
Okay, so rig. I have a 1d6 in rig.
Okay.
I should probably have a kit.
Okay.
Since
Give yourself a kit.
Okay. So that didn't work. Alrighty. So a 2d6 tech kit.
Okay. Sounds good.
So that would be 3d6.
3d6.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Go for it. Roll 3d6. All you need to do is get beneath a 4. And you're successful. The power of this is just a pass-fail.
Fitty. Got it.
2 2s. Bam. All right, cool. So you get the environmentals, and you guys are able to crack it open. So you head into the vehicle section. You see that there are APCs. There are some, like, where they break it down because the panels are so gigantic. You see there are a number of deconstructed TIE fighters that are here. There's also where they've taken an AT-AT and kind of broken her open as well. Yeah, they never even touched this entire sector. There are hundreds of thousands of credits worth of salvage here. The problem is, how much can you carry? But as you guys look in there, then this is where space monsters happen. So there are, as you guys are walking along, there you get fired upon. You hear the sound of blaster fire, and you see that there are 4 stormtroopers here. And we cut away from you guys. So we are heading in the Fox. You guys were coming up to the detention center. Just making sure.
Yeah, because Vendai said that the detention center is actually kind of poorly armored from the outside. So we were looking for it as a weak spot to get in. Yeah, on the inside it's great. On the outside it's actually kind of a weak.
It is indeed. I completely agree with that. So as you guys are getting closer, you, of course, on the main channel, OTO's turned it off, but you got the main Imperial broadcast. But you also hear a secondary signal, Van Dyke, as you guys are getting closer, and the Fox kind of latches onto either thing, and then the little umbilical airlock comes out, and you guys can kind of head out and cut into it if you want. The thing is, though, once you pull away, then that thing's going to vent to space.
Mm-hmm.
There is an airlock that you could try to break into as well. So do you want to cut your way in, or do you want to try to use one of the airlocks?
Well, I think we want to take advantage of the weak hull around the detention center. What do you think?
Yeah, honestly, a door we control is one I like better because other people don't know where to find it. So
yeah, we're on the same page.
Beauty. So then OTO says, I'll be happy to stay here and wait for you guys. He's a little more chipper now. I don't know. Like, I'm still finding his voice. Sorry.
He's good chipper.
Yeah,
okay, good.
That's great. Isn't he like part of the ship?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he still tells you he'll wait for you.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Well, he's amusing that way. Cool. So as you guys are hooking in, you don't need to make a roll. Like this is a thing you do, right? So you're cutting into it, and Vendai, you catch there's a whiff of another channel that's active now that you're close enough to get a broadcast. What do you do?
I'd like to find out if that's some kind of like tactical channel and possibly put the jam on it.
Oh, cool. All right. So why don't you let's put that sucker to a
because in Bandai's mind, I don't think Bandai's expecting stormtroopers, but she probably is expecting like a droid, like battle droids or something like that would,
I think an interesting thing here is that if Kier knows the other two are in trouble, Kier probably wants to go and help them because White Knight. Whereas Bandai would be like, nope, we should stick to the plan and make the most money possible.
Why, yes, that is very interesting, isn't it?
Well, I guess that's the question. Do we know that they're in trouble?
I don't know. Do you guys broadcast once you're... So the way, timing-wise, I'm imagining that you're cutting in about the time.
Stormtrooper.
Exactly that. I love it.
Kark.
Kark.
Snaku. Situation normal. All karked up.
Ooh, dude, that is good. I am loving it. Yeah, so you guys are just cutting in as you get you pull it up on. So you wanted to stop this relay?
I want to see what it is and see if I want to ride it and learn more, or if I need to just shut it down because the only people who should be chatting are us.
Awesome. It's not hard to open a comm relay, basically dialing. It's like you're just, it's from the 70s tech. So you dial in the channel, right? And you hear Blissix, please, I am in the detention center. If you can please send aid as soon as possible. The environmentals are going down. Repeat, my name is Wallix Blissix. I have been detained here, and it appears that there's no help, no egress. I've tried to work on the door, but I'm unable. It's still magnetized and secured. If anyone can hear me, please. There's no food here. I have no protection from the elements. It's getting very cold. And that comes through the comms. So yes, you also hear it, Kier.
Oh.
Yep.
All right. So then I'll broadcast. All right, it turns out this is now a rescue mission. There's people here in danger. So I'm going to make sure that when we get it open, we can get this guy safely onto the ship. We'll have to restrain him, of course.
Do you know this, Wallix Blissix?
No, but that doesn't matter. I'm not going to just vent someone into space. What?
We don't have to vent them. We just won't open the door.
And that's when you guys start getting the comms from your compatriots, right? You're actually heading into the detention center itself when you get comms from your teammates that they're in a bit of trouble.
So I have a question. Like we were venting the atmosphere in there, weren't we? Is what we were doing to make it.
That's a fair question. My understanding was that the attempt from Vami was to basically equalize out the pressure so that you weren't venting it out. So, and they were successful in that role.
My point being was like we were in the hangar bay, and the force field that keeps that area not exposed to space was down. So there's it's equalizing the pressure on this side. It's basically making it a vacuum on that side as well.
Yes.
Or the storm
risk of being
environmentally sealed suits or something.
Yeah, you guys are in hard suits, and stormtroopers are probably in rough. Let's just say there's a progress bar for them. If you continue and you don't equalize out the pressure, they are going to run out of air. But they're hoping to shoot you and close the door before that happens.
Okay.
Yeah, like if we roll back the clock, they got their helmets off and they're just sitting around and eating like MREs, waiting for the safety patrol to come around and rescue them. Then one of them is like, "Sithbit, somebody's opening that door!" Throwing on helmets, getting ready, aiming blasters, and then you guys come walking in.
And like air sort of swirling past us, as you know.
Yeah. You guys maybe have mag boots or something, right?
Okay.
So maybe, yeah, as things go on, of course, I've got the ability to like give advantages and disadvantages to like TIE fighter rolling along. It's going to get crazy. Trust me, if we have time. So let's roll back to the, you guys got the prisoner situation, and then you heard the comms from your buddies that there are some stormtroopers and Kark. So what do you do, Kier?
So if we leave this prisoner, then he is probably going to die, or he'll be fine.
If you leave this prisoner, there's a possibility that he may die, because this is a giant star destroyer, and if he is already getting cold because the environmentals are winking out, he may run out of air. He just may freeze to death before they get around to the detention center, which would be the lowest priority for the Imperials.
All right. Then Kier is going to be like, sounds like things are getting crazy. We got to get this guy out of here.
The Empire will be here in hours. I'm sure he can survive that long. We need to help our friends.
Oh, no. That's a tough thing.
There is no PvP rules except for shooting each other.
Well, I actually had an idea. I don't know if this makes sense, but I was thinking of, rally as kind of more sensitive, and I was wondering if my suggestion could be framed as an untrained forced suggestion.
Holy crap. That sounds amazing, and I want to try it. How do you feel about this, Jason Cox? Are you okay with that, Kier?
Kier is super interesting when it comes to resisting such things, so we will give it a shot.
All right, so you're going to be rolling charge. Van Dye, you're rolling charge, and Kier, you're rolling banish.
These are the two strongest force characters. So.
I know, this is insane.
And I'm at a disadvantage, but I just want to see what happens. So I'll roll 3d10, is that right?
Unless you have equipment, then that is what you'd roll, yes.
Yep, okay.
And then you're rolling 4d10 to banish there, Kier. Ties go to the defender. And since Kier is trying to defend his autonomy, he'll be the defender.
Okay.
So your precision is a 2.
Do you think my heads-up display makes a difference?
I don't, actually. I'm sorry.
No, doesn't matter to me. I'm just checking.
Yeah,
all right.
I want to bring in your coin-operated force field so bad, but even.
All right. Don't really need a label on this. Got a 1.
Okay. So green is Kier, and you got a 1, which means you successfully defend against the very powerful attack. But yeah, that suggestion that Van Dye made, there's a moment where we have like the sound effect, right? And there's a pregnant pause, right? When you're thinking about doing what Van Dye wants. But what do you do, Kier? What do we see when you resist that successfully?
All right. So first of all, we didn't actually describe our suits. So
what do your suits look like? Thank you for asking.
So Kier's suit. Well, I'll let Van Dye describe his first.
Oh, okay. Van Dyke's wearing essentially what looks like a fabric, like a slimmer, sort of like silvery, like Earth astronaut kind of thing, but more fitted.
Nice.
And then oblong bubble helmet, inside of which you can see in reverse the sort of like displays of basic information. It's not as good as the Kier's heads up display, but just like basic information that you would want to know about your suit. And it's this sort of like silvery gray, and then her bracer tech kit is on the outside of that. So that's and little sort of propulsion unit on her back as well.
So Kier's is kind of like a Art Nouveau version of a Flash Gordon suit of space armor because it's Naboo. But it's been like scuffed, and then it's got like various welds on it, which are meant to have like safety lines and things, just scavenger stuff. So it used to be nearly ceremonial, but still practical, and now it's been kind of jury rigged to be more effective at what he's doing now. But like I said, he's actually kind of a skinny guy, so it's custom made for his skinny ass body. So, and what happens with the camera is that like the camera kind of goes in on one eye through behind the red lens there, and his eyes widen for a moment while he considers what's going on. And there's like a high pitched soundtrack in the background of the violin string, and then it just stops, and he's like, "No, they can handle themselves. Let's get this guy."
Nice. And on this side of the detention center, you can easily go to the detention block, reroute some power. Just for time, I'm going to say you can kind of open the door up because you have that seal from the door you made. There's enough air to breathe here. And what you see is there's a man who appears to be in his 50s, bald head, thick white beard. He's wearing an Alliance jumpsuit. You would recognize it, like he's got the little rebel symbol on it. It doesn't look like he has like been converted. They didn't put him in prison gear.
Yep.
He comes out and thank you so much. How did you get here?
I'm Kier Moonwood. I'm here to help. We're still going to have to put these binders on you.
Oh, he reacted. You're not from the rebellion? You're not from the Alliance to restore the... I thought that perhaps there was someone coming for me.
Well, there may not have been, but we're here now, which means you get to live. But we still got to make payday. So let's get you on the ship, and we're going to get moving.
Oh, scavengers.
I mean, you could be dead.
We're not scavengers exactly. I am Blee Hecto from the Galactic Insurance Union, and we're here to inspect the damage. Some people call us scavengers. Some people see we just have a job to do.
Understood. How do I get out of here?
Well, we're going back to the ship anyway. It appears our friends are in some trouble, too. Let's go!
Nice. Okay, cool. So you lead him along, and he won't put up much of a fuss. And with the binders, he's going to have a little bit of trouble navigating the little umbilical airlock, but you guys can manage it. So let's cut back to our friends who are in trouble.
I did just a quick moment of Kier giving his real name and Van Dyke trying to put her hand on her forehead, but this big helmet is there. It's like,
that's the bubble.
I want to claim my alignment on this, by God. Protect another.
Take a token, please. You've 100% done your thing. And yeah, unfortunately, Diabolic, you have to complete a task and you failed. So sorry, Van Dyke, but it doesn't look like
I have not completed anything.
So close. The dice betrayed you. Cool. So we cut back to Vommy and Sparks. Guys are venting out into space. The stormtroopers are fired upon you. They're actually standing on like a AT leg and firing down on you guys. I don't have a map. I'm sorry. But just imagine square thing, Imperial design with shit in it, which is stuff they're on, and you're pretty close. It's chaotic. Stuff would move around anyway. So we need to go into combat. I would like for you guys to roll dash. The precision for dash initiative is everyone gets to make a maneuver in order of their precision. Double crits go before single crits, just like you'd assume. And I have stats for these troopers. There are 4 of them. One of them, I'm going to roll for them as a group because I am lazy. Cool. Their dash is 3d6, so I'm rolling that now. Oh, it appears that our turquoise friend goes first.
Oh,
by far.
sorry, I didn't realize I was supposed to wait there. My bad.
Okay. Orange is going at a 1. That's amazing. Boop. And so let's see, who are we waiting on? We had the two of you guys already there.
I haven't rolled. Are we rolling for this
I'll
also?
roll it. I'll just bring you in. Who cares? This will be
Oh,
fun.
all right.
Sure. Like we're 30. We've got 30 minutes left. Let's have you all in a combat. That'll be fun.
Sure.
I
Well,
hope that Mark
I
and
figured
Robert
we were
don't mind.
piloting over there in the initiative order.
Yeah. So this round you're piloting over. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Okay. And I'm just rolling my dash, right?
Yes, you're rolling dash.
All right. I'm so very good at dash. That is a lie.
Sweet. So we will start with our orange 1.
You might want to write all these down because otherwise this is going to get real messy real fast.
Who's our orange 1? I'll write that down. Is that Sparks that has the orange 1?
That's me.
Okay.
I'm blue.
All right, cool. So it looks like it goes Vami, Von Dye, I think is turquoise.
Yes.
And then have you rolled yet?
Yeah, that's me. I'm the 4.
You're the 4. Which 4? Oh, the green 4. There it is. Yep, so sorry. Cool. So then we have all at once the troopers and Sparks and Kier. So Vami, you go first.
Okay. So, I run over to a TIE fighter wing that's kind of trying to roll its way out the door, but it's kind of slow because it's like hexagonal or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I quickly grab a beam and I chalk it up under the thing so that it's now staying still for right now.
Oh, cool.
And to try to make sure that stays, I put my I mag lock one foot, my right foot, and then mag lock my left foot onto the beam. And then I've just got this hole in the wing that I'm using as a place to shoot. So just
awesome.
A barrier.
Great. Go ahead and starting at row 53, if you want to write yourself an advantage of basically tie wing cover.
Okay.
And I'll make that a 4-point cover.
Okay. And I pull out my telescopic repeating blaster and turn on the parts of my suit that make me more steady, and I start firing at the.
Awesome. So we'll do that next time we roll around. You've basically built yourself some cover to give yourself an advantage, which will be beneficial if they actually hit you. And then we will go to Vandai. So Vandai, you are in the ship heading your way over, and I don't know. Let's see. Like you like fly in, and I imagine you don't need to make a piloting roll because we have a droid. So what will be fun? Yeah, I think there's some debris that's coming this way when you disembark. There's some stuff that's coming out of the vehicle area. So I want you to dodge out of it. I'm going to say it's 3d6 coming at you.
Okay.
Of debris and stuff. You've got a dodge of d4, so you'll be rolling 2d4.
Uh-huh.
And your armor will help you here. Don't forget you've got a rigid module.
Yes. So another 2d6 and 2d10. Is that how that works?
If that's what the module says is a d10, then yes. Yes, it is. It's 2d6 and 2d10. So you're rolling 2d6, 2d10, and 3...
2d4.
2d4, yeah.
Lots of 2s.
It's a good dice pool to have, actually.
Yeah, it is. Oh my goodness, I'm super. Oh man.
Hey.
I was so excited because I had a double critical. You have a double critical dodge, and defenders win. So you dodge out of the way. That would have been
okay.
6 coming at you.
Oh boy.
If you would have had to make a soak roll, but because we tie and defenders win ties, is it a thing where you dodge out of the way or it bounces off your hard suit? What do you think it looks like?
Yeah, I think that's Van Dyke making a combat roll as this is as we're getting out of the ship, right? So this is
you
Van Dyke on
disembark
foot
from the ship and you're running towards them to try to help out, and there are like wrenches and sprockets and a crate full of stuff that looks similar to the crate from before, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm picturing like the ship kind of sliding to a stop in the hangar bay, and Van Dyke, rolls out of the back and is dashing to try and get cover from the stormtroopers and to be able to back up her compatriots.
Sounds awesome. I love it. Cool. So that happens at 1. And so now we have Troopers, Sparks, and Kier. I'm going to give Sparks first action, then Kier, then Troopers. So Sparks. What?
So among the debris that's sort of drifting out of this area, I want to see if I can track maybe a sort of volatile barrel of stuff that floats nearby the stormtroopers.
Okay.
And shoot it.
That sounds amazing. Let's have you. We'll just do a quick snap spot roll. And if you make the spot roll, you're effectively declaring that this thing exists. And if you fail, then there's no barrel of fuel or oil that's there. I'm going to call this the difficulty of this just happening to be there 2D, just a 2, but a 2D8.
Okay, so
if you roll lower than my 6 with your 5, there is a barrel. It's got like the Imperial symbol on it, and it's rolling slowly past these guys. They stand on the leg of the AT-AT. That sounds amazing. And what did you want to do with that barrel?
I want to blast it.
Okay, cool. There's actually area effect rule. So this equipment, the barrel, has an area effect. So go ahead and roll to shoot it. I'm going to say that it's very tough because it's got fuel in it. So I will declare it having a 2d8 for you to hit and destroy. So go ahead and roll to shoot that bad boy.
Okay, so it's 3d6 for the gun and 1d6 for the shoot, or is that right?
Yeah, you roll with your gun plus your shoot, and your gun is a 3d6 and your shoot's 1d6, so roll 4d6. Okay, cool. So the criticals cancel each other out. Was it a critical against a critical? So ties go to the defender. So you hit the barrel, but it doesn't explode. It's how I'm going to rule that, because the lowest die rolled, and then you compare the two, and ties go to defenders. You don't go to the next die. So because you both rolled ones, you hit it, but she doesn't explode and keeps rolling towards you guys. Cool. So we roll to Kier.
Oh, you're muted.
So right now we have a couple of guys sitting up on top of the ATSD leg, and that is all we have.
That is all you have right now, and you are disembarking from the fox.
Sure. Yeah, it was just I was questioning whether or not it made more sense for me to use a command thing or to blast them. In this particular case, it seems like it's best to blast. So Kier pulls out this oversized hand cannon of a blaster, which is way too big for him, and activates his unrestrained auto fire at the poor sap sitting on top of the ATST.
Oh man, I want that animated GIF. I know it exists. I just have to Google for it. Cool. So go ahead and roll your shoot plus your gun plus your unrestrained auto fire, and I have stats for these guys trying to dodge, and so I will roll that as well.
It's a lot of threes.
All right, so their dash is a 3d6, and I will roll out.
So before you roll for them,
Mhm.
the note that I was making in the side there is that if they dodge, they lose their action.
Correct. And so
All
the
right.
guy that you're shooting for is still going to try to get out of the way.
All right.
And he got a 3 against your
So a
3.
tie. Yeah.
So a tie, which means Kai goes to defender. So he ducks down.
Use a token. Use a token.
You could.
Reroll.
Oh, hey, that's a good point. I'm a token
Good
that
call.
crap. Now, before I do that,
Mhm.
he rolled a 6 on his power, which means he absorbs 6 no matter what. Right?
Right.
So even if I use a token, he's just going to absorb it.
That's,
right?
Yeah, because you're rolling d6s, you may want to just not use a token. Very good catch.
Ah, ha, ha, ha.
Don't use a token. Don't use a token.
Good call, Mark. Man, you're such a good player. You're very smart. Awesome. Good. So that's scary. Now my troopers are going to go. One of them has dodged. The other 3 are going to be shooting. And so they are rolling. They're good. Listen, only stormtroopers are this precise. I say before I roll. So the first shot is coming towards. Well, I mean, why wouldn't they hit an Iktochi who looks like a Nautilin? So they'll shoot for you. Do you want to dodge, or are you just going to use your cover to eat it so that you can fire?
Cover and soak.
Okay, sounds good. So I got a 2, which is you're not dodging. So there's 5 that's coming through. You have a 4 advantage. So he blows through the tie wing cover, and you take one damage that you will need to soak. So go ahead and roll your soak, which is 2d4.
Okay. And the lowest roll I can roll is a 1, so I think I soak it.
Yeah. Well, there's no reason to go to dice if you just need the 1, so you're good. So you rolled to soak. Sweet. Then we will now roll for the one who is going after Sparks because he recognizes that Mandalorian armor and is terrified of it. He's well trained. Are you dodging, or are you just going to try to soak this?
I'm going to try and dodge.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your dodge. You need to beat a 2 precision. Your armor is helping you here, so don't forget that you get to add that in.
X plus 2d6.
So you're on 4d6. And 2 1s. Yeah, you are a dodging fool. That's amazing. Good. So that means you have used up your next action. And then we have our third trooper who will be firing also on the Iktochi who has a sniper rifle. So here we go. You want to dodge now, or you want to go ahead and see if you can soak it?
No, I want to take an action. So I'm going to soak.
All right. I got a 1 succession, so you need to soak 5 damage coming your way. I'm going to clear the dice. That is the last of the troopers that goes this round.
Okay, so I get my armor and my soak score, right?
Correct.
Okay. So my soak score is 2d4, and my armor is 2d6. So 2d4 and 2d6.
Mhm.
I'll put a 2. A 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. So which means you got a 4, so you have 5 coming at you. You need to take 1 die to one of your maneuvers.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's how the damage is worked. So you just basically reduce one of yours. You may want to put an asterisk by it to remind yourself. Not that we will come back to this because it's a 1 shot. But oh my goodness, your rally is pooped.
Yep.
Okay. Sounds awesome. We roll back to Vami. You get your action now as you get hit. What do you think? Like it's a shoulder shot? Where do you think that blaster hit you?
I think it got it hit me in the shell around my head. So there's a slight leak. Tiny leak.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I take aim at the one that shot me and I fire. Let's see here. I've got a 4d6 shoot
Mm-hmm.
and a 2d10 gun
Okay.
and a 2d4 scope.
And this guy's just going to eat it. He thinks he's got you.
Okay, so 2d4, 4d6, 2d10. Right? 2d4, 4d6, 2d10. Clear and submit. I have a 1 and a 6.
1 and a 6. Okay, so you've done 6. He has got a 2d4 soak. And if you do enough to him, then... okay, so you do 3 points to him. The way these guys work is... if they don't soak, then it just kind of goes through, and you move him up to the action of surrender. So this guy is going to try to get the heck out of the vehicle repair area. He is disengaging and trying to run away. And we have 3 more troopers that are dealing with stuff. Vendai, it is your turn. What do you want to do? So we have troopers and stuff. And there's a barrel, an unexploded barrel.
And there, okay, so we have 3 troopers who are still hostile towards us.
Correct.
I would love to slice into their comm channel and broadcast a very loud, very high-pitched noise directly into their helmets that they're not supposed to take off right now.
That is amazing. I love it. I'm going to say that their armor has resistance rating, and that's what you'll be rolling against.
One of the things I was going to ask about, I don't know if you spend a token to do this, but I was wondering if, so, Van Dyke had sprinted across to take cover, behind whatever. If I found I was near, the sort of wall communicator panel that you punch to communicate to people on the ship.
Yeah, you're there. That's cool.
Is there, some ability to make use of like, oh, cool, I have like a head start on accessing their comm channel, like spend a token to gain some sort of advantage there, or I don't know how that works.
A real quick spot roll, kind of similar to how we did with the barrel.
Okay.
And if you happen to spot that command, then I'll allow you to have a 3-point advantage of on your roll here to make things happen.
Okay.
Cool?
So I've got a 2d4 spot.
I'm going to say it's the likelihood of this is 2d6 of it not happening is what I'm saying. So
okay.
You roll a 5 and a 6. You roll a 1 and a 4. Yes, you spot it. So you have a 3-point advantage, which is command module. You can go ahead and mark that down in your advantages on row 53.
Okay.
And what that does is you can roll right now to go against their armor.
Did a 3d6?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my hack, I think, right? And this command module?
Yeah.
And my slicing kit?
Those all feel absolutely right to me.
Okay, so 46 plus 3d6 is 7, and 3d10.
Cool. Now, what you're doing is an area effect, right? Because you're trying to get all of them.
Yes.
So when you roll to use this equipment, you sacrifice any die out of your roll to use another die as a second power die against a second target. You can do that until you run out of dice.
So I need to subtract dice from here?
Well, first you need to roll. And
I see.
And then we'll take a look at those rolls. It's a weird little side roll that I want to try.
That's okay.
Out.
So I think I understand. I'm rolling 7d6 and 3d10.
You're rolling a boatload of dice.
Oh my god.
Okay, so that is a quad crit, which adds to any of the power dice that you want. Now, here's the way it works. You've got 9 going against one of these guys. He can't even soak it. Like, he's out. You may have killed him.
With a very loud noise.
But he basically ears bleeding, and
maybe he ripped his helmet off by instinct, and then
oh god, yeah, oh that's terrible, and I love
regret.
it. Yeah, and then we see the thing from like Crap Total Recall, where like the eyes bug out.
Yeah.
Get to the chopper. Okay, so yeah, he's doomed.
Okay.
Now, if you want to sacrifice one of your if you sacrifice your 3, then you can use the 7 against a second target.
Okay.
And then if you sacrifice your 4, you can use a 5 against the third target.
Okay.
Now,
that sounds good.
These advanced criticals add +1s to any of those powers that you would like.
Yeah. Okay. So let's add 1 to the 7 to make an 8, and 3 to the 5 to make another 8.
Bam. That is enough to basically you knock out one of them. One pulls off his helmet reflexively, and that's the end of him. And another one, he falls off of the leg and lands oddly, and he is out as well. It basically KOs him. He's out. And mostly doing this also because of time. So you guys have taken out the stormtroopers that are in this room, and you hear OTO calling out to sorry to bother you in the middle of your very exciting intrusion, Kurt. However, it appears that our passenger has decided he would like to leave, and he is no longer in restraints, and he is trying to hotwire me.
I will be like, excuse me for a second.
Moonwood?
I know. So
cool.
Just gonna go back on it. Actually, you know what? So I'm just gonna be like, patch me through the ship speakers as I'm charging on there, and then I'm just gonna command him to sit himself down and shut the fuck up.
I love it. Cool. So this will be our last roll of the game, unfortunately, and we'll do quick epilogues where you guys can kind of story tell some stuff so you can put your characters to some kind of bed. You need to beat a 3d6.
All right.
I'm going to clear dice real quick.
Yeah, I think I get to use my Kobayashi Command HUD on this one.
Yes, you do. 100%.
So that gives me 5d6 for this.
All right. Your precision needs to be at a 2.
All right. So done. So I got a precision of 1.
Okay. Yep. There we go.
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, you tell him to sit his ship down, and you make it like you were just commanding. Like you're just going to tell him to.
Well, because it's Kier, like he doesn't really put it that way. Like he puts it extremely forcefully. He's like, "Look, we were nice enough to save you. We gave you passage on our ship. We're rescuing you from the Empire, and you're trying to strand us here. Does that make any sense to you, civilian? Because I know you used to be someone, but now you're not, and now you're dependent on us. And if you don't calm down, things will go bad."
Nice. And he will reply, "Do I have your guarantee that I will at least be able to purchase my own release? I do not want to go from one prison to another."
I wasn't about to turn you in, and the opportunity to make money is why we're here.
All right. Very well. He agrees. And he says, I agree. However, I should let you know that you guys need to hurry, because we are getting Imperial comm traffic that the repair and recovery teams are nearly here. In fact, they have come out of light speed.
Yeah. I'm just gonna do the wrap it up thing. Like, foxes, grab what you can. We're out.
Can the mostly magnetic fox carry an ATST?
Should be able to. It should just magnetically adhere to the hull.
Yeah, that was going to be my suggestion, was just to vent where we're at and then just fly around it, like trying to hit the debris for the things that we wanted to collect and have it magnetize to the ship.
Sounds good.
That sounds amazing.
Since we're not going into atmosphere, it won't burn up.
We'll just look like debris flying away too.
Yeah.
Sweet. Cool. So real quick, just to kind of bring it home, as we are at time, that's, you guys do that thing, right? You pop out, you vent it out, you magnetize and grab an ATST and some other debris, and you kind of pull the Boba Fett, right? You just go out with the trash, and you see the repair teams come in, and then you guys wait until they have gotten in, and they are not paying attention to where you guys are, and you hop to Lightspeed and return back to Trident Vespa and trade off your salvage. And so in the game, this is where you would repair some of your maneuvers, that, you know, your stats that were injured. You would trade off your salvage to get coin, rest and recoup, and that's the cycle of Void Vultures. Real quick, anybody have any epilogues they'd like to have for their character, like a, you know, end of credit sequence?
So I think after, you know, as we were leaving, Sparks grabbed some of those Imperial Stormtrooper helmets, and back in the planet we see him on like an empty lot where he's put the Stormtrooper helmets on you know, pegs, you know that have been propped into the ground, and he's just doing target practice, trying to get his game back.
I love it. That is really cool. Really cool. Poor guy. Any other epilogues?
I have one. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. Okay. So just on the way down, or yeah, probably when we're settled, we just have a moment of Van Dyke pushing her long Duros finger into Wallex's chest, saying, "You'd better provide a return on this investment."
Nice. Nice. Cool. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, he's nervous eyes, and he can sweat on his bald pate there, but you think he'll come through for you. What about for Vami?
Did you want one, Mr. Cox?
I do. I don't mind going last or before or whatever.
Okay. All right. I just didn't want to. Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, I've I've converted some of the haul to coin, and I've rented a trip. So like, there's this I don't know, this ugly transport ship, and it lands on a planet, and I go inside this building. It's like a verdant kind of planet, and I hope I don't screw up the canon too much, but there's a hut there, and the hut is running an orphanage, and it's the orphanage that I came from, and I've come to like give them some money and play with the kids for a bit, which doesn't go very well, but I'm always trying to learn.
Be nice to him. Don't worry. He's a little rude. That's awesome. I really love it. And that is a beautiful canon that I love and accept in Star Wars, because that whole species can have a few good apples in it. Damn it.
Hut orphanage.
Yes. I mean, sure, they're trained to be street thieves, but, you know, they get a place to live.
Or snipers.
Hey, it's space bacon.
So I think for mine, we've got our guy buying his way to freedom, and he's passing over the suitcase full of money, because it's always just like a silver suitcase, because that's easier to do for props. And he's like, "You know, the rebellion could use a crew like yours." And Kier thinks about it for a second and goes, nah, we care about people, family, and friends. We're not actually about causes. And he takes the money and he's like, we're here if you need us, though.
Off somewhere in the distance, you hear pew, pew, pew.
Nice. That is really, really cool. So if you guys, we're at time, so if anybody needs to go, feel free to go. But I do love to do feedback, which is roses and thorns. It'll take like 10 or so minutes. I'd like to take a quick bio break. And for those who can, we'll do the roses and thorns if you need to go. That's totally okay too. 4 after, so we'll see you at 6 after. See you guys in 2.
Oh, hi.
No.
Hello.
So I have to know, Jason Mills, how long ago was the Green Mohawk pick?
2, 3 summers ago. It's now more of a sort of purpley pink.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool.
My headphones don't allow me to flaunt my plumage as I prefer.
Beautiful plumage.
Yeah. I'm going to muscle up to those bars.
Sorry. Like, I feel like Holy Grail quotes are not funny, but like Monty Python other stuff is funny to me.
Yeah, I appreciate those.
Especially the more obscure, the better.
Really, it's funny or not funny at this point is besides. They just are.
Yes.
We're talking about 50-year-old quotes that are a part of our culture.
I just love saying this isn't an argument. And like, that's it. No more context. No one else knows that I'm basically, but just tickling myself. Robert will join us in just a sec. Jason Mills, I know we haven't gone through Roses and Thorns, so I just want to make sure you're comfortable with it. So in Roses and Thorns, it's a real simple thing. Thorns are what we start with, and Thorns is a critique session. Just so it's clear, I am the son of an ex-Marine Corps sergeant who became a high school principal. I can take it, buddy. I swear. So it's any aspect of the game, because I consider gaming not just a hobby, but a craft, and I think that I can always continually do better at. Void Vultures, first time I ran it, so any feedback along those lines, I will just first Thorn, just to kind of save you guys to have it decrepit. My time management was poor. I got a little too excited on the Vespa, and I should have trimmed that back so we could do more of the actual game that I wanted to run for you guys. So sorry for that one. But any other aspects of the game where there's disappointment, confusion, it could be a thing where you would have rather seen something a different way, or things that you would have wanted to explore that we didn't get an opportunity to. Anything along is all fair game.
Okay.
And then roses are mostly where I just want you to compliment the other players. Like just the highlights of the moment, things that you really enjoyed. You can even talk about the system, anything that was a highlight for you, things that you might remember after the fact. Just to be respectful of everybody's time, we'll go ahead and start with Thorns, and we'll go with Jason Cox, and I'll go from left to right as I see it, so that Robert gets to go last, and then we snake order, so he's the first who gets to do a rose.
Cool. So one minor one on myself is I got to watch my language because apparently I kill PG-13 ratings.
I did too. Sorry.
But one thing I would have liked to have had is some kind of personal connection between the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we didn't really need it for the purposes of this. We were all scavengers together, but how they came together, why they worked together, etc. It's just part of the meat of what I've grown used to in indie games and what I like.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was like, for time, I'm not going to make them do a bunch of backstory for themselves, but I'll build a little bit of the setting. And maybe I shouldn't have done either or, but maybe try to mix both of them in together.
I think it was a reasonable decision. It's just I felt that emptiness in my soul.
I don't want your soul to be empty, sir. Cool. Thank you. Any other Thorns? No? Okay. Awesome. Welcome back, Robert. I went ahead and started with Roses and Thorns. Do you remember Roses and Thorns? You need a refresh.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, cool. Jason Mills, what Thorns did you have from today's session?
Actually, I'll just echo what Cox was saying. I really love those sort of relationship, little one-liner questions from a lot of the PBTA games. But I don't really think that's a thorn that's on you. Otherwise, yeah, I can't really think of anything outside of like, now that I know the system better, this would be, like I'd love to play it again and kind of know like, oh, okay, cool, that's where this stuff goes. But I wouldn't have wanted you to stop and spend half an hour explaining every little part. So, yeah, kind
I'm
of
glad,
a thorn.
because I don't have half an hour more of knowledge of it. Maybe
so
now
yeah,
I do, but like during, I was like, that's a good question.
Yeah. So thorns in the sense of like, I look forward to doing this again, but I can't think of any sort of like specific constructive criticism.
Okay, cool. And always, my virtual door is open. So if it's a thing that occurs to you later, feel free to reach out to me. Also, if somebody says a thing, but you've already gone and you're like, oh yeah, I want to like me too it. Go ahead. Although like I need to find a different phrase than me too now. If you want to ditto that thing, although that makes me think of Rush Limbaugh. So I don't know, if you want to say, yes, I also experienced that thing, feel free. Mark, what thorns did you have from today's session?
I either didn't hear or forgot that you only get one action per round in combat. And so I was disappointed after having set up the TIE fighter wing that I didn't get to fire my gun. I was preparing, like all that description was more for like flavor than it was for doing an action. And
I get you. I got excited about the opportunity of using the advantage system because I just thought it was really neat, and I kind of forced you down that pathway. I should have had a better communication to say, what is your intent? What do you want to do? And if that was just like color, then I would rather have had you shoot if that's what you wanted to do. So thanks for bringing that up. I'll be better about clarifying what you want to come out of your attempt.
Okay.
Any other critiques? Thorns?
That's what I've got.
Okay, thank you. Robert, bring us home on Thorns, sir. What did you have?
So, as nothing nobody else has mentioned already. One thorn, and I understand because we're running low on time, so there wasn't time for like any sort of space battle stuff to happen. But I did, I did that repair of the gyro on the turret at the start, and I was hoping that would maybe like have some sort of impact it later on, but it never came up. But it happens.
Yeah, that was a Chekhov's gun that we didn't get to pick up and shoot people with, literally. Cool. Thank you, Robert. I get you. I was also hoping for space battles. But I spent too much time at home base. That's time management there. Robert, we'll stick with you because I like to do snake order. Those people would go last on thorns, get to go first on roses. What roses would you like to offer out?
I was worried at the start that, you know, especially with rolling for character stats, that it was going to be like you know, the system was going to be sort of super D&D sort of rules heavy sort of thing, but it's actually pretty straightforward with the, you know, you're just rolling your dice and then you're taking the highest and lowest die, and that determines your success and level of success. So it's pretty slick.
Good. I'm glad you dug it. Thanks. Mark, what roses did you have?
I really liked how everyone really hit their alignments, which is something I don't usually see in, you know, D&D style games, which this is loosely a D&D style game, but you know, it says on the cover like kill space monsters, take space stuff or whatever. So that makes it feel like a D&D game to me. And I thought that alignment might be like ignored, but we all played our characters based off of our alignments, and I liked that. So
I did too. I just want to jump in and say I love that we were able to have alignments that were in a bit of opposition, that you guys as players respected each other and also realized we work together kind of thing. So it wasn't these paladin refusing to work with a thief moment. That was really, really cool.
That's what I've got. Thank you.
Thank you. Jason Mills, what roses did you have?
I will echo that idea that all three of the other players were able to like instantly jump into some really interesting characterization, and I was so excited to hear about all the other I am such a clone nerd. I did a whole campaign using the Star Wars world with a whole everyone were clones. I've sort of rejiggered the playbooks to make everyone clones, and they had like avoided Order 66 and had a Jedi with them, and I love clones. I'm crazy about them, and thank you for playing one.
Sorry, I like flipped through 3 windows before I unmuted. I apologize for that. Usually I'm better at management. By the way, when you're in a hangout on air, you can mute yourself with Control D. So always helpful. Jason Cox, what rose did you have, sir?
Well, I just learned I could mute myself with Control D. That's
yes, I got the first rose for Jason Cox.
I really enjoyed the diversity of the characters, both in terms of the mechanical ability, the different races, the places that they came from, but that they all seem to make sense together. And I think that's a combination of the efforts that the players made in jumping into them and devising backgrounds, but also in terms of you as a GM kind of finding a space to unite them. If I had a rose for the movie Solo, it would be something similar, where like a lot of those characters were wildly different, but they made sense together. And so we get that quality here as well, and that is super cool. I also like the system. I think it's pretty elegant. It's got some parts that are a little underdeveloped, but nothing terrible.
I think the game would do well with a bit more teasing out on what the particular maneuvers do, as well as an example of play. But it's a pretty powerful little system. Like, we were doing some cool stuff, and once I let go with being nervous about it, and we're just making calls on the fly. You know, very sorry, like that's going to be 3d6 for you to do this weird thing that I didn't think of, and it felt right. Like it was kind of neat to use different die pools to represent challenges for you guys. I bitched about rolling dice, but it didn't hurt.
It's good to be out of your comfort zone.
It is. Thank you guys so much for giving Void Vultures a try. I had a splendid time playing it with you, and I really appreciate it. And I look forward to playing with you guys again soon.
Yeah. Thank you for running it, Rich.
Thanks.